It is time for another edition of Cougar Insider here on Mediacom Channel 22 and ColumbiaCougars.com. My name is Cosmo, one of the play-by-play voices for Cougar Athletics, and with me, Daniel. Let me make sure I'm going to get this right now, Coach. Daniel Radkowiec.
Yep, better than I
say it right.
Yep,
Daniel
perfect.
Radkowiec.
Can't go wrong.
And you are the assistant track and field coach, cross-country coach for head coach Tracy Jex. You were at William Woods for 6-7 years, correct?
6 years.
6 years as their head track and field coach.
Yep.
And then here with Tracy now to run the Columbia Cougar program. And your specialty is the long-distance runners, correct?
Yes, it is.
Cross-country primarily, obviously, with that. And then that kind of transfers over into some of the longer events with track and field.
Correct.
I think that's been one of as the cross-country program added first here at CC a few years ago, and then the track and field announcement here, almost 2 years ago. I think that's been one of the things that I've learned about both those sports primarily is, you've got track and field runners or cross-country runners that end up running some of the events for track and field and back and forth, a little bit of a mix of both. Let's start with the men's cross-country program here. Big rankings early on in the season, had a lot of success, and didn't quite get the result you guys wanted in the national tournament with some injuries and things, but at the same time, a lot of early on success. Talk about why you think that was able to happen.
Yeah, it started off with last season. Coach Cornell, the old distance coach, did a great job with laying an amazing foundation. Beginning of the year, Coach Jex and I decided to redshirt the past AMC champion, which obviously hurts the ranking. So that's why we kind of had a high ranking beginning of the year, is because they're going off of last year's results.
Right.
Well, that changed quite a bit when you redshirted Tommy Skowski, who won conference last year. Then after that, right around conference, we had a lot of sickness with some of our top student athletes, and in our sport, we had a lot of young athletes. Out of our 8 runners we ran, student athletes, 4 or 5 of them were freshmen. So with such a young team, being such a long year, I think we put all our eggs in a basket for conference, and they did really well at conference. They won, but I think come nationals, where some of them were still recovering from being sick and just a long year, we didn't finish on the note we wanted to.
Right. That's both the men and the women's team. I think a lot of people don't think of cross-country as a team sport. They think of it as an individual sport, and you go outside and you run, and you get a time and you're done, and that's how it works. But there is a lot more to the team aspect of how you prepare and how you run a cross-country meet. Talk a little bit about the strategy that goes into which runners end up in the race and that kind of stuff.
Well, it starts with practice, obviously. Team chemistry is a big part. Running is tough. Running isn't fun. But if you like your teammates, like your coaches, it makes it easier. And so it starts with practice. We group athletes that have the same personality with the same type of talent. Everyone kind of races differently. Some like to be a little bit more aggressive. Some like to pace from the beginning, and some like to what we call negative split, where they start off slow and they slowly pick it up. So we kind of watch those habits being formed at practice, who fits what type of pattern, and then we try our best to kind of bring them together as a team to work off each other's weaknesses and help each other's strengths. So from the team aspect, obviously your number 5, you score 5 in a meet, is just as important, if not more important, than your number 1. And so we really focus a lot on our 4th through 7th runner, because again, that 5th spot means everything for a team score.
So kind of an internal competition in practices leading up to those meet days to decide which are your 5 that go racing.
Right, absolutely. We try to. You can't race every day at practice, like any sport. You don't want to go hard at practice. You do want to go hard at practice, I'm sorry, but you don't want to compete at practice. Right. And so there's certain days where we give them a little bit more of a green light than others.
Right. Especially when you're talking practices that I know at different times at 5 a.m. and different time frames depending on the day and the weather and that situation. And really, there's only one way to practice for cross country. It's not the same to go over to the Southie building and hop on a treadmill. It's not quite the same thing.
Yeah, obviously the best way to become faster is to run.
Right.
To be a better runner, you need to run. But we do a lot of little supplement training too. We do a lot of lifting. We didn't do as much this year, but we do a lot of plyometrics, a lot of drills, Obviously, a lot of dynamic stretching to prevent the injuries. When you run, when you do one constant motion for as long as they do, you know, you get a lot of tendonitis, bursitis, a lot of aches and pains. So we do a lot of prevention with supplemented training.
You mentioned a lot of young runners on both the guys and the ladies teams. The difference, you wouldn't think necessarily that there's that big of a difference if you're going to run cross country and you're at high level at your high school, and then you come to run for Columbia College, one of the up and coming programs in the AMC and in the NAIA. There's a big learning curve, just like there is for a basketball athlete or for a soccer athlete or a golfer or whatever the case is. Just because it's running, it's still quite a curve. What do you guys try and do, Coach Jackson, yourself, as far as coaching up those younger athletes to get them up to speed quicker?
Yeah, we have a saying that, you know, we don't throw freshmen into the lion's den right away. You know, it's a slow progression. You know, when you're ready to run more miles, when you're ready to race bigger races, we slowly put you in those races. We slowly increase your training. Because, yeah, you're right. We always say, you know, put hay in the barn, you know, money in the bank. And a senior has a lot more hay in the barn than a freshman does. Not saying a freshman can't come in and compete right away.
Sure.
We had 2 freshmen on our team that won conference. We had Naomi Payne won the women's AMC conference title, then Malik Holman won the men's AMC conference individual title. So you can have freshmen do really well, but you have to make sure you train them at different limits because they are so new to the collegiate sport.
And there's a lot, not just from their times, but like we talked about earlier with the strategy that comes into how you run a race and which teammate is that one that likes to, you know, finish faster, or, you know, that's all is part of the learning process. In addition to the fact that they're college freshmen and they're learning about academics and they're trying to keep pace with everything that goes on with being a student, and then meshing that in with being an athlete as well on the cross country side. What was, as far as, because this was your first year through the whole cross country.
First semester here.
What was the biggest success story that you took away as your favorite memory of the first cross country season?
Oh man, there's tons of memories. Obviously, every day it was another memory, you know. But I think one of the highlights was, like I just kind of mentioned, with Naomi Payne, a true freshman, and Malik Holman, another true freshman. Both won the individual races at conference. That's pretty unheard of. Yeah. You know, again, because for the men in high school they run 3 miles, 3.1, 5 kilometers, and then in college you run 8K, which is 5 miles. So that's a big adjustment, obviously.
I don't think in my entire time in college I ran a total of 8 miles, much less in one race.
Correct.
But no, as freshmen, for them both to win the title, that's certainly got to be rewarding for you guys.
Absolutely. Just showed their dedication and their consistency to hard work. You know, they had very little uninterrupted training throughout the semester, and it showed. You know, they ran fast when it counted. Some other good memories, you know, just team bonding. You know, the bus rides, listening to all of them talking. You know, traveling, running at some really big meets. We went down to University of Arkansas, and we got to race some of the best Division I teams there. So it was a really good experience for the young team. So those are probably the memories I'll take away.
I think that is something that I've learned as well with track and field and cross country coming into the athletics at Columbia College, that you guys will go to meets and compete against NCAA Division I's. You're running against Kansases and K-States and Missouris and you name it. It's different on that angle, obviously, where, you know, the basketball team's not going to end up, you know, playing against Pepperdine or something like that. You're going to play, but you have that opportunity to run against some of those Division I's and really get a barometer of, like, hey, look, you know, you're running against one of the top SEC runners in the nation.
Absolutely. The girls actually got to be in the same race as Marissa from Mizzou, who ended up winning cross-country nationals. You know, they're in the same race. You know, obviously she's extremely talented. But
a national champion.
That's
pretty good.
As talented as they can get. But yeah, I think that's something that's pretty unique to NAI cross-country and track and field, is that, you know, we are able to go to Division I, Division II, Division III meets.
What is, well, you know what, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about a little bit of what it's like to recruit for track and field, and then the differences getting involved in some of the track and field aspect of your coaching job with Coach Jex here at Columbia College. We're talking with Daniel Radkowiec. Got it right again.
Awesome.
All right,
2 for 2.
On a roll, 2 for 2. We'll come back, Cougar Insider here on Mediacom Channel 22.
You know, there's nothing more gratifying than being able to help other people. Really, I think that's what we're meant to do on this earth. When you're out and you're helping people and you drive through the neighborhood, you see all of their belongings stacked up on the edge of the street. You don't judge them, you don't pick and choose, you take them as you find them and you help them.
There's always going to be somewhere to go because the Red Cross is here.
They show up out of nowhere, the Red Cross. I don't know how they do it. When they show up, there's cots, there's beds, there's blankets, there's food, there's water, there's stuff, all this stuff that will take care of people right here, right now, right on the spot.
If it wasn't for the Red Cross, we wouldn't have a place to go. We wouldn't have the help. These people made us feel so welcome. It was a blessing.
The Red Cross to me means someone that actually will listen to my story and care that someone like me is out there and offered the help that y'all have offered.
And it's your help and your volunteerism and your donations that keep this running. Thank you.
We really needed help. Red Cross was there. You were there when we needed you. Thank you.
Family TV customers, did you know that for less than $8 a month, you and your family could be enjoying more laughs, more drama, more surprises, plus Stars and Stars Encore, and the power to watch your favorite movies and shows whenever the time is right for you with thousands of free on-demand options? It's true. Upgrade to Prime TV now and pay just $7.95 more a month for a year. For more of everything you love at a price you'll love even more, call 888-SIMPLIFY.
Back here on the Cougar Insider Show on Mediacom Channel 22. I'm Cougar broadcaster Cosmo with Daniel Radkowiec, the assistant track and field and cross country coach, the head coach Tracy Jex here at Columbia College. You were the head coach at William Woods, and then Tracy brought you over here to be his top assistant and in charge of the distance runners, and you combined the cross country success and then into the track and field as the program continues to build. How many athletes do you want to have? What is the goal to have as far as a total number?
Right. We have roughly 51 right now, and our goal is to bring in around 10 to 15 a year. And maybe 70 to 80, I think, is probably where we would like it for now. Not saying in the future we'll go more, but
sure.
With the number of, we have 4 coaches on staff, and we really like to individualize training. And
you had 19 or 20 a year ago. Now it's 50, but I mean, you have to have that number. And obviously, a lot of the cross country runners will cross over into the track and field for some of the distance events. But now you're adding jumpers and throwers and all those aspects as well.
Yep.
What main track and field sport don't you have an athlete for yet?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd say. Ooh, that's a good one. We have very well-rounded athletes that can do all the events.
So there's several that are kind of filling in on something.
Correct.
Maybe
there's some new traits being learned.
So a random cross-country runner is like, can I try the javelin?
Yeah, it's more like random cross-country runner trying pole vaults. No, it's not that bad, but it's you know, we have some sprinters and some just good-around athletes trying new events.
Yeah, I'm sure the basketball coaches want you to stay away from
the high jumper,
trying to get them to be high jumpers or. Although I know on Bob Burchard's team over there, there's a Malik Ray has some serious records in the high school record books over in the St. Louis area on the track and field side. You do have you already had one and a couple more coming up, some indoor meets. I think that's one of the other fun things about what you guys do. Obviously, you have the track and field, you have outdoor And then you do have some indoor events, including one that you just competed in. We were talking earlier about the NAIA athlete here at Columbia College competing with Big 12 SEC athletes, and then you had a chance to do that out in Kansas. Talk a little bit about that indoor meet out at KU.
Yeah, Coach Jex took around 20, 25 student athletes to the Bob Timmons Invite, which was at KU, just to kind of get their feet wet. Again, with a brand new program, you have a lot of freshmen. And so anytime there's an opportunity to have them compete early in the year, you know, obviously we'll take it. So it was just a really good learning experience. We had a couple student athletes that did well above what we thought, and hopefully that keeps them motivated during the Christmas break, so when they come back, they're ready to roll again. And
an opportunity to see the Cougar track and field team here in Columbia at Mizzou at the track and field over there coming up on like the 20th, right?
Yeah, yep, that Friday, the second Friday when they're back in school, yeah.
And that will be, so again, you can enter a number of athletes. It's not like you come with every single, an athlete for every single sport, but you enter as many as you can. You get points for how they finish and,
correct.
And finish out as a team.
Correct. Some meets are scored. I don't know top of my head how the Mizzou meet, if it's scored or not. I don't believe it is. But yeah, there's meets that are scored, and so then you want to be a little bit more strategic and put your best athletes in events where they can score the most points. But a meet again this early in the year when they come back from break is again just to kind of get the rust off to continue to build momentum for later on in the year.
And as far as facility-wise, I know that's another aspect. Obviously here on campus, there's not a whole lot of room for the full track and field. I know you, in the past, you've been using some of the facilities just around the corner at Columbia Hickman High School, and then some of the things you're able to do here on campus, obviously with the new turf field at our Marvin Owens, that's probably helped out a little bit. But talk about the facilities and what you've been able to use for coaching.
Yeah, well, you basically said it. You know, we use Hickman a lot.
I got it right. All right.
We use Hickman. We have a great relationship with them, and obviously with our turf field here, and then we lift quite a bit of weights, and so obviously we're in our weight room lots. And with the distance runners, Columbia is such a great outdoors town that we have the MKT, you know, within a mile away that starts. Cosmo Park's not too far away, and then obviously Stevens right down the road, so we have plenty of options to train.
And the scheduling wise, and I mean, you talked about the indoor season. I mean, it literally goes nonstop. It seems like you guys are competing, whether it's the indoor or outdoor. When is the conference tournament, if you will, for the tournament meets for the winter portion?
Yeah, indoor conference, the AMC Championship is, I believe, February 17th. Okay. And then there's a week off, and then that's when indoor nationals is. Indoor nationals is always the first weekend in March. And then typically you take 2 weeks off, well, not really off, you know, recharge, heal any injuries you have, then you go right into the outdoor season. So yeah, you're right. It basically, once second semester starts, you just kind of roll to the end of May.
And you guys, not only, we talked with Coach Washington on another show, I mean, recruiting, you're always kind of always recruiting. I think coaches are always out there recruiting, and it's a lot about relationships, and obviously yourself and Coach Jex have been in the conference, him at Hannibal, you at William Woods, and so you know the AMC conference. That obviously helps when you're building a brand new program here. What is the recruiting process like for track and field versus a soccer program or a basketball or softball?
It's different. I mean, like you kind of mentioned earlier, you know, we can compete against D1, D2, D3, JUCOs. And so a student that we're recruiting literally could be getting recruited by D1s, D2s, D3s. And so you also said it, where you build that relationship. And so we try to build relationships with not only the student athlete, but also with high school coaches. And then we look for a lot of untapped talent, you know, where we can develop them here. And obviously every school is going to develop athletes, but with a brand new program, I think we want our foundation to be the student athletes that love this sport, that have a lot of untapped talent with a good work ethic.
I think sometimes it's a blessing and a curse. On one hand, you're trying to sell the student athlete that, hey, you can be a part of something brand new and build it. And other kids don't maybe want that pressure or want to try and get more instant gratification quicker.
Absolutely.
And then you obviously have the facilities and the education at Columbia College obviously helps that as well. But being involved in something brand new has always got to be a nice selling point on the recruiting side.
Yeah, I think, you know, being able to be the tradition, right? Start the tradition, you know, have your name in the record books. You know, I think that is very appealing to some student athletes, and that's what we're for sure working on these first couple of years is, you know, these student athletes are the tradition, and it's going to be exciting.
So Mizzou, I'm assuming that's going to be at the field house?
Yep.
Over at the University of Missouri, coming up on what, the 20th?
The 20th of January.
Of January. Yes. So after the calendar flips and the semester flips, if you get an opportunity, check out the Columbia track and field squad indoor right here in town, and get over to the field house at Mizzou, and on the website columbiacougars.com. Continue to watch the growth of the program, the addition of new student athletes, and the disciplines at the track and field events. Coach, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming out.
And again, Daniel Radkowiec and Tracy Jex, the head coach of the Cougar track and field and cross country team. The Cougar Insider here on Mediacom Channel 22. Thanks for watching.
And here's why travelers recommend Extreme.
Because sometimes you never know where you're going to end up.
Record and pack your shows to enjoy on the go. Another reason to discover Extreme.
Mom, come on, pick up. Come on, pick up, Mom. So much for a phone call away.
Message after the tone.
Well, I guess you're busy, but I wanted to tell you. We're pregnant.
For just $5 a month, you can make sure that you never miss life's most important moments. Call 888-SIMPLIFY.
I like to have the smile. I like to see our family portraits portraying a happy family. There's nothing going on at home. But the truth is, my husband has PTSD. My children and I manage that.
We were grade school sweethearts, and then we moved, and I, lost touch. Of course, we were just kids.
I just thought he was so handsome. I mean, I was only like 7, but from a 7-year-old perspective, he was so energetic and joyful and fun, and he got my attention immediately.
We ran back into each other when I was 25. We dated for a while, and we got engaged on Christmas Day.
And it was perfect. He did it right. It was very memorable.
So Christmas Day, 5 or 6 hours after I got engaged, got alerted for orders to Afghanistan. Interestingly enough, we got to Fort Benning, and they changed our orders to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Anyone who thinks that war isn't ugly is just not living in the real world. He had a very specific job to do, and he did his job. The day he got home from Cuba, the first time I saw him, I knew something was wrong.
There's just so many things that you see in combat that are very scary at the time, but you don't have a chance to process it because you ruck up and you gear up and you go back into the streets, you go back on patrol the next day again.
4 or 5 months maybe after I got home, my wife left her email account open, and I saw two emails with our pastor. Just said, "Can you please pray for me and Bill? Things are tough. If I knew Bill was going to be like this, I would not have married him."
For a long time, he just held it together. We all held it together. But there's a big difference between that and thriving. Very big difference. The Wounded Warrior Project is actually, I like to say that I feel like he came back to life when he got involved with them.
So the Warrior Care Network is a collaborative initiative that Wounded Warrior Project is spearheading, bringing together world-class academically affiliated medical centers to provide cutting-edge, groundbreaking, top-of-the-field mental health services and traumatic brain injury care for wounded warriors around the country.
We help a veteran be able to understand then the way that they're responding may not actually be effective anymore. And it may actually be based on a past that was never processed.
The impact of continued struggle and sleeplessness, it's disruptive on a family. Bill, his wife, his 2 kids, we want to get them at a place where they're thriving as a family. And in order to do that, we knew we needed to create options for care.
It's not just a warm welcome, it's actually providing the care, the psychiatric care, the emotional support, the investment in the best and brightest who have returned after serving our nation, and the families that love them.
What I noticed was a realization with Bill is that, there may be some hard feelings that he has related to experiences he had in the past, and, he may have a tendency to beat himself up about those things.
The Warrior Care Network program taught us to not avoid our issues that we live with. It was to face them head on, but not without the tools to face them head on.
We're giving actually a better understanding and also some tools for families to be able to both support the veteran in their adjustment back, but also to allow them to feel stronger, to allow them to feel closer to their loved one.
It's like he really is aware of not just how he's coming across, but what he needs to do, and that he needs to do something. And I have seen him take the initiative with the kids and with myself.
I started kind of slow with just showing some emotions when I got home, and just saying, I missed you guys. I've been a lot more cognizant of when they make a good grade at school.
If I had a message to put out there to other spouses and families dealing with this, it would be just hang in there. Just don't give up. Take care of yourself. Get your rest and get back in the game, because if you just keep working on it, it will get better.
Family TV customers, did you know that for less than $8 a month, you and your family could be enjoying more laughs, more drama, more surprises, plus Stars and Stars Encore, and the power to watch your favorite movies and shows whenever the time is right for you, with thousands of free on-demand options? It's true. Upgrade to Prime TV now and pay just $7.95 more a month for a year. For more of everything you love at a price you'll love even more, call 888-SIMPLIFY.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchool.com.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
Finally, we found his assignment. He rushed through it. I wonder if he even learned anything.
I wasn't gonna get it right, so I just wanted to get back to playing my video game. At least I'm good at that.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just
I'm trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
Mom, come on, pick up. Come on, pick up, Mom. So much for a phone call away.
Message after the tone.
Well, I guess you're busy, but I wanted to tell you. We're pregnant.
For just $5 a month, you can make sure that you never miss life's most important moments. Call 888-SIMPLIFY.